key sources are looking at one more company, a foreign company, as far as funds received by the PFI is concerned. One funding tranche was received from Dubai, and now Muscat link is also coming to light. A construction company under the scanner for funding this radical Islamist body, the Popular Front of India. Let's go across to our senior editor, Shravan Sen, bringing us more details on that. Shravan.
Well, the foreign funding has been under the scanner, Shivari. To begin with, Dubai, a link that has essentially emerged, how Popular Front of India was receiving money from this entity in Dubai, that's PMI International. Now, this very company has now basically come under the scanner. Now, the operations are not just in Dubai. We are now being told that the operations are also in Muscat and Oman. What's very important to point out here, Shivari, is that a construction company, essentially dealing with hardware, what was this company doing with Popular Front of India? It now turns out that the former General Secretary of Popular Front of India was in fact in Dubai, was felicitated in Dubai, and thereafter was also seeking money, saying that it is for the emancipation of the Muslim community in India. In fact, the Popular Front of India was fighting for the community in India, and that's the reason why they're basically looking for some amount of donation. It then turns out that immediately after that meeting that took place, money came into the accounts of a Popular Front of India. Important to point out here is that this foreign funding has basically been under the scanner for various reasons. To begin with, whether at all this money was basically used for the anti-CAA protest, that is still not known at this point in time. This is a subject of investigation, whether this money was pumped in for the anti-CAA protest or not. But if you clearly look at the timings, if you clearly look at the source of income, it raises some very serious questions about the foreign link that has basically emerged. So not just Dubai, you're looking into countries like Muscat and Oman, from where the money has also basically come into the accounts of Popular Front of India.
Right. Shravan, appreciate you joining us and giving us more details of the Enforcement Directorate's entire investigation. More and more foreign funding link now emerging. Let's also turn our attention to break down some of the bank statements that have been used to draw the PFI link into violence that broke out, especially in Uttar Pradesh. We are breaking down the information that we have accessed through the Enforcement Directorate's investigation. Remember, the CAA, the Amendment Act, was brought into Parliament first on December 4, 2019. And then if you look at the transactions that were done through PFI accounts after December 4, which is a day after, there were multiple transactions that took place. December 5, approximately 14 lakhs withdrawn. December 9, approximately 15 lakhs, and December 10, approximately 9 lakhs. Parliament passed the Citizenship Amendment Act on December 11, and then the next day, December 12, what you can see on your screens, approximately 6 lakh more were withdrawn from PFI accounts. 3 days later, December 15, is when the first big violent protest took place right here in the national capital. Remember, DTC buses were torched, there was widespread stone pelting and violence. Some of those visuals are on your screen as well. Then protests turned violent in Murshidabad as well. 5 trains were set ablaze. In Aligarh, there were protests outside the Aligarh Muslim University. 1 day later, we're talking about December 16 now. Violent protests in Lucknow's Nadwa University. On December 17, there were violent clashes in Delhi's Seelampur area. 2 days later, December 19, violent anti-CAA protests across Lucknow. So money is withdrawn in various tranches from various accounts just in the lead up to these protests. December 20, remember, that's when the situation went completely out of hand in Uttar Pradesh. 6 people even died in anti-CAA protests. And what also came to light was that several of the protesters were firing illegal firearms. December 21, over 10 lakh rupees were withdrawn from PFI accounts. And on the same day, there were clashes in Chennai and also one more death in anti-CAA violence in Uttar Pradesh. Let's also talk about the last week of the month and the new year. December 31, 2019, 16 lakh rupees more released from or withdrawn from PFI accounts. In January, on the first day 2020, Remember, there were only over 1 lakh people who participated in an anti-CA rally in Kochi. On January 2, approximately 14 lakh rupees were withdrawn further from PFI accounts. And then on January 22, 2020, there was a big march against CA in both Hyderabad and in Bengaluru. So this is really the link that the Enforcement Directorate is also tracking. The funds that came from sources that are now being linked to both Dubai and Muscat, and also then were dispersed systematically as the protests across India intensified. Large-scale rallies have been held. The Shaheen Bagh protest has been ongoing, where of course people are being taken care of to continue that 24/7 protest for over a month now. So the question that continues to be asked is just why such money was being taken out of various PFI accounts. Can they explain their activities? Can they explain what this money was being used for? What is it that the body like PFI even does? They're not really related to any philanthropic exercises or social causes. They're not really working for the upliftment of the downtrodden. So what is it that they really use this money for? And that's really the focus today.